The St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre was catapulted as a result of many different events. The first was the Peace of Saint-Germain-en-Laye, which was a treaty that was signed on August 5, 1570, that had officially ended the French Wars of Religion and had lasted close to 40 years during the 16th century. Second was the marriage between Henry III of Navarre and Margaret of Valois on August 18, 1572. This caused bitter tension between the families. And third was the failed assassination of Admiral de Coligny on August 22, 1572. It is safe to say that that was the event that tipped the snowball over the hill. St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre was a slaughter of French Huguenots, also known as Protestants. The massacre had started in Paris on St. Bartholomew's Day on August 24, 1572. Huguenots were a group of Protestants who became the center of political and religious quarrels in France in the 1500s and 1600s. French Protestantism was encouraged by Martin Luther and French reformers of the early 1500s and was taken over by Calvinistic ideals. Calvin was a French Protestant leader who headed the Reformed Church in Geneva, Switzerland. During the reign of Henry II, from 1547 to 1559, the Huguenots became a large and influential group. As they grew strong, the government persecuted them more and more. Such important people as Admiral Gaspard de Coligny and King Anthony of Navarre were Huguenots. The Guise family led French Roman Catholics and persuaded King Francis II, son of Henry II, against the Huguenots. After Francis passed away in the year 1560 and Charles IV became king, Catherine de' Medici, mother of the Queen, completely took over the French government. For a time, she encouraged the Huguenots as a balance against the Guises, but feelings in both parties became so bitter that civil war broke out. Here is an interview from historian William Milston.
What was Catherine's role in the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre?
Catherine de' Medici's role in the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre. Catherine de' Medici is one of the more interesting figures in European history. Here's this Italian princess who moves to France and becomes the Queen of France in her own right. But not only is she the Queen of France, but she is the mother of 3 French kings. The St. Bartholomew Day Massacre happened during the early reign of her second son, Charles IX, where she is really running France for her teenage son, who's not quite prepared to rule in his own right. The unexpected death of his older brother, who is Francis II, really put power square in the hands of Catherine de' Medici. Now, before the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre, we've had a lot of tensions between Catholic France, the Catholic family, the Catholic royal family, and the French Huguenots. French Huguenots, whose leader at this point is a man named Admiral Coligny, who happened to be friends with the French king. He is close friends with Francis II. This friendship brings peace between the Protestants and Catholics, but unfortunately, it's the death of Francis II, putting the crown under the head of this teenage boy, her second son Charles, really sets the ball rolling in the wrong direction. Now, a marriage was proposed between Catherine's daughter, a princess named Margot, and a strong Protestant ruler who was he was a prince in Navarre. His name is Henry of Navarre, Protestant. The marriage between a Catholic princess and a Protestant prince is going to create peace in France. So what's Catherine's role? The marriage ceremony is set up. French Catholics and Protestants from all over the realm are gathering in Paris for this royal wedding that's going to unite the two religions and bring peace. And Admiral Coligny is assassinated. He's assassinated not by Catherine, not by her people, but by other Catholic partisans. His assassination starts everything going downhill. Catherine's fear that the Protestants are going to seek revenge for the death of their leader prompts her to act first. She thinks she's saving France and saving her family. She's paranoid. And she's the one who orders her people, her troops, to go and massacre the Protestants who have packed into the city, all going to a wedding. It's a wedding that turns wrong. St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre is one of the more brutal points in French history. Thousands and thousands of Protestants were massacred, probably because of Catherine's paranoia.
The Huguenots had some of France's best military leaders. Catherine, fearing Coligny's influence on her son, allied herself with the Duke of Guise named Henry. Some historians suspect but cannot prove that Catherine and Guise were responsible for the St. Bartholomew's Day Massacre that occurred in 1572, that murdered thousands of Huguenots.